What's it like to live on the Costa del Sol? I've been down to this coast multiple times, filming trips, holidays, but I've never really spent the time to explore it and delve deeper. And given I help people to move to Spain, I figured it was about time that I came down here and spent a little bit of time. So I've come down with the family, we're here for a week, and we're gonna spend the next 5 days going west to east, exploring coastal towns, inland spots, to really answer that question of what is life like down here?
I always wonder about a life like that.
It feels very real. We arrive in Estepona in the evening and with its network of narrow one-way streets, get completely lost trying to find our hotel. But as we circle the town, I get a good vibe. It's May and it seems busy, but not too busy. I sense this is a relatively low-key, year-round town. We're going to treat Estepona as our base while we explore the western Costa del Sol. And just to be clear, we didn't include Malaga City on this trip because that feels like it needs a video all of its own. The hotel room is nice and complete with the requisite trendy see-through shower. But we're hungry, so we wander down the Paseo Marítimo, the boardwalk, as the sun dips into the med, and head into a chiringuito for a meal of fresh fish cooked al espeto. Salud! First night, we just got here. When you think Costa del Sol, what do you think? What are you expecting, you know?
Well, I'm expecting sun.
Yeah.
And the beach, and a little bit of posh, and a little bit of not so much posh at all.
Okay, like a mix.
A mix,
As we move west to east, you're going to get a
guess
blend.
so. Yeah, you know more of the geographics than me, but yeah.
A little bit posh, but not always posh. Yoly's right. The first thing to understand about the Costa del Sol is its incredible variety. East and west of Malaga City are quite different. Throughout the Costa, there are busy resort-style beach towns and more secluded inland mountaintop villages. There's the Marbella posh and Torrox Pueblo rugged charm, and lots in between. Okay, so morning one, Estepona. People are talking more and more about it. I've even heard, which sounds a little foreboding, as the new Marbella. It's certainly not that or not that yet, but you know, we're way down the western end of the Costa del Sol. So this is an area that has traditionally had less tourism, you know, less people moving here. And over the last 10 years or so, Estepona has undergone a huge transformation, with the town hall planting an explosion of colourful potted plants and flowering climbers throughout the town. It's striking walking through and taking it all in. In the streets, there's these photos that says, this street, Calle Figueroa, this is what it looked like beforehand, antes, if you can see that. And then as we swing around, ahora, now, obviously being, you know, beautified. We walk deeper into the town and enjoy exploring the beautiful streets. In fact, Yoly is so inspired that she breaks into song.
Hola saeta al cantar al Cristo de los gitanos, siempre con sangre en las manos, siempre por desenclavar.
Whether this beautification project is returning it to its past or creating kind of a new future, I mean, it's incredible what they've done here. You walk under, you know, we're not in like where all the tourists are walking around. This is like where people live, and there's these, you know, gates of jasmine and bougainvillea, if that's how you say it, if I'm saying that right. You know, potted flowers and these beautiful little lanes down here. I mean, it's incredible, and the upkeep must be amazing. I'm curious how the local people who live here are involved in this. You know, are they watering these plants as well? Yoly heads to the beach with Lucia while I go to chat with the locals. Just for those Yoly fans out there, she won't feature as much in this video because, well, my plan is to explore each area at a certain pace with my camera, and she's got her hands full with Lucia, plus she's pregnant and is going to take it a little bit slower. But fear not, she'll make the odd appearance. Hola, buenas.
Hola, buenas.
No, solo tenía una pregunta, es que estamos explorando el pueblo un poquito.
Diga.
Bueno, tan bonito, y sé que ha habido este proyecto de hacer las calles más bonitas los últimos 10 años, ¿no?
Ajá.
Y bueno, tenía curiosidad si los vecinos riegan las plantas o el ayuntamiento.
Normalmente lo riega el ayuntamiento.
El ayuntamiento.
El hombre venía por ahí con la goma.
Un
vale.
circuito y lo riega. No quita que algunos vecinos pues las
Sí,
cuiden
¿no?
un poquito más.
¿Qué piensan los vecinos? Porque ha cambiado mucho, ¿no?
Ha cambiado mucho. Hay de todo.
Sí, ¿no?
Siempre se dice que no llueve a gusto de todo el mundo.
Ya, ¿no?
Pero a mí personalmente me gusta mucho cómo
Sí, ¿no?
está el pueblo, mucho más bonito.
So just walking down the street and I can hear kids playing just here over this wall. It's obviously a school there. What I'm enjoying about walking around is that this is clearly a living town, you know? There's people going about, you know, locals going about doing their business, living their lives, kids at school. Because when you walk around here, it's so beautiful, you could be mistaken for thinking or wonder, is this just a set? Is this sort of put on for tourists or something? But no, it's beautiful and it really has a great sense of a living town. You walk through the streets and you can hear people inside cooking and I don't know, it feels like they've pulled off that balance. Okay, I'm not a beach guy, but I know some of you are, so let's head down to the beach. We're walking out onto the Paseo Marítimo, or the boardwalk, which is lovely. To see if we can find Yoly and Lucia, who are beach people. Hola! I'm not a beach person, but for those who are,
Like me.
yeah, like you and Lucia,
Not really.
how would you rate this beach? A good beach?
This is pretty good.
People who are curious about living by the beach in Spain?
It is a lovely beach. Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. It's big, it's wide. You know, there's not like a huge drop, you know, of the sun, and you know, it's pretty cool. We
It's
like
not
it.
hyper built up behind, which depending on what you're looking
got a
for.
nice line. Yeah,
Nice
yeah.
beach line of buildings.
And the only but I would put is that the sand is quite dark, so it gets really hot. So you need to be very careful with the soles of your feet.
Dark sand alert. Just a quick heads up, if you're curious about moving to Spain, I'm running a free webinar where I'll walk you through the 7 secrets to a successful move. I'll be covering your vision, timeline, immigration, finances, location, property, and your landing plan. This free webinar will be extremely valuable if you've ever considered moving to Spain or are just curious to learn more. During the webinar, I'll also open up enrollment for my Move to Spain Masterclass. This is my signature program that I only offer twice a year and which offers those moving to Spain a full in-depth roadmap on how to do it successfully. But whether the masterclass is right for you or not, come to the free webinar. It's going to be packed with value. And if you can't make it live, just make sure you're registered and I'll send you the recording afterwards. The webinar's on 9 September at 6 p.m. To register, head to spainrevealed.com/Spain webinar and I'll drop the link in the description below. Just a few minutes up the coast, I've joined the Senda Litoral, a seaside path that winds its way along much of the Costa del Sol. It's part of a long-term project linking towns from Manilva all the way to Nerja, over 160 kilometers once complete. Some stretches are brand new, others follow older boardwalks and promenades, but together they're turning the coastline into one continuous walkable route. So here's an example of how this works, the Senda Litoral. So if you go down there and look, you'll see that's Estepona, you know, the town. Obviously you can walk along the waterfront, but then we've come to this forest. Now normally this would have been, you know, difficult to traverse. I don't know, like might have been a bit more challenging. But now with this walkway, you can just keep on going to the next town. Yeah, I have a dream to spend sort of 5 or 6 days one day just walking the length of the Costa del Sol along this coastal walkway. We grabbed a quick lunch that wasn't great, to be honest. Yep, even I make mistakes. But the 3-year-old was getting frisky and we had to act fast. As the disappointing rice dish settles in our stomachs, we head outside of town to check out one of the nearby urbanizations. So this is what urbanizations often look like. They're kind of like streets you would expect, say, in New Zealand or Australia, Canada or the US, with cars and big homes with maybe a pool. In Spain, it's really common for people to live in these residential areas rather than right in the town center, especially along the south and east coast. You'll see them on Google labeled as URB, plus the name of the Urbanización. This one's only a few minutes drive from central Estepona, but it feels like a world of its own. The trade-off here is you're not living in an urban environment with the tapas bars right down, right alongside. So you often need a car if you want to live in one of these. You get the space, but that comes with distance from the urban center. As the sun sets, we climb into the hills. One of the features of the Costa del Sol is that it isn't just flat as you travel inland. In fact, the landscape rises dramatically, and this is another aspect of the variety this area of Spain offers. Wow, we just got up to this lookout above Estepona. Beautiful views down here of the land. People don't realize how this coast along Malaga and other parts of Spain on the east coast as well, just the land just erupts. Just as you go inland slightly. We're only a 10-minute drive up the hill, and it's beautiful nature. So you've got the water here, you've got the mountains with this natural landscape for hiking, exploring, or living. There's houses down here, there's villages in the mountains. Okay, but more importantly, I'm getting bitten alive here by mosquitoes. Another thing you might find in some spots on the Costa del Sol. Speaking of mountain villages, the next morning we head to a very famous one, Mijas Pueblo. I'll hold the camera, you hold the pram. How's that hill treating you?
What hill?
I've heard it's both beautiful and very popular with international residents. First impressions of Mijas are, don't move here if you don't like hills. You're in the mountains. But it's cooler. We stop for coffee at a terrace with a view that is breathtaking. The whole coast stretched out below us, and the elevation also brings a bit of relief from the heat. Okay, so we just got to Mijas. First impressions. I think first impressions are important.
Yeah, well,
I'm enjoying the breeze.
Yeah, I love it so far. Levante breeze. I like it. I think it's beautiful. The only thing is that if I was moving to the coast and to the sea, I would miss being really close to the sea. I would have to jump in the car to have a swim. And that would be for me.
But you can see it,
maybe
but
an
it's not
issue.
there.
Yeah, it's like you almost
so close and yet so far.
Yeah.
Yoly is right. Living in the mountains comes with trade-offs. She and Lucia head for the park, and I set off to explore. You can feel how central tourism here, especially day trippers coming up from the coast. In the lower part of town, there are souvenir shops, restaurants line the square, and yes, the donkey taxis that date back to the mid-20th century. And to be honest, they're not really my thing. But as I climb higher, the noise fades and the crowds thin out, and I'm in the whitewashed maze where people actually live. As you get past the really touristy area just down on the main square, it's just another beautiful, it is another beautiful white Andalusian village. What I love about hilltop villages in Spain is how dramatic they feel. Homes stacked above and below, winding streets that climb and dip. It's like everywhere you look left and right, but then you look down and up. It's almost like living in three dimensions, you know what I mean? There's beautiful views, glimpses of the sea, and you really feel it is cool. I mean, it's warm today, but it's cooler up here. So while these prices will date, you can see there's a combo. This is a village house, 340,000, 140 square meters, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. So this will be in the village, but then you've got a chalet, a house in the hills, effectively, an independent house with a pool, 1.5 million. So we sit down for an excellent lunch, recommended by a kind audience member who lives in the village and we stumbled across. The map around Mijas Pueblo is surrounded by urbanizaciones, so we jump in the car to check one of them out, Mijas La Nueva.
Hello.
Let's go.
Onwards and forwards.
Onwards and forwards, onwards and upwards. Living here, you're still within the municipality of Mijas, but it's a very different life from living actually in the town. Up in the hills here, there's a little more rainfall, and you can see it in the landscape. Just hear the birds. Gorgeous homes. Lemon trees. Infinity pools. It really is a little slice of paradise up here. And that's a point I really want to get across. You know, the Costa del Sol is not just a few towns or a few villages. The whole coast has so many different spots on it, hidden away, tucked away in the hills like this. Famous places on the coast. It really has got something for everyone. Next morning, it's time to say goodbye to Estepona. And honestly, if you're doing a scouting trip, I recommend choosing just 1 or 2 towns as your base, then using a rental car to explore the surrounding area on day trips. Tonight, we sleep in Nerja, way down the other end of the Costa. But first, we're going to visit a good friend who is living in a rather glamorous Urbanization just north of Friilana. As we head up the hill, we leave 3 of the Costa's best-known towns below: Friilana, Benalmádena, and Torremolinos. They're lively international spots, and while we haven't got time to stop on this trip, if you're after the energy of a bigger town, these are definitely places to check out. But for now, it's time to hang out with the one, the only, Hani Martini. Hey, Hani! How are you?
So good to see you.
She's an Andalusia expert, and you might remember her from videos I've made eating my way through Malaga and Marbella. Check out her Instagram below for lots of Costa del Sol and Andalusia tips. But today, instead of tapas and vermouth, she's inviting us into this modern urbanización where she rents an apartment with her partner. It's bright, contemporary, and the apartments are surrounded by shared gardens and 2 pools.
MTV Cribs, right? Are we showing our age by saying that?
I think we are.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever the modern version of MTV Cribs
I don't know
is.
if there is one.
Yeah,
Instagram? No.
Instagram.
TikTok.
While Yoly and Lucia head down for a dip, Hani gives me the grand tour.
Thank you.
The crib.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
A lot of white.
Gorgeous. Goodness. Wow. Hey, what? I don't think I've ever seen.
Oh my God, look at this. Now that. This is a great terrace. You've only just got here.
We've only just got here, hence the fact we're sparsely furnished.
Yeah, I thought you'd gone minimalist.
We have, but not intentionally.
Yeah.
From what I understand,
Yeah.
it's probably about 50% are actual holiday rentals.
Yeah.
And the other 50% are people that own and only use them themselves, but don't necessarily live here year round.
Okay. Give us the tour. Here we have
so
the
here we have a
the
very
huge terrace.
A huge terrace, very strangely furnished at the moment.
Yeah,
because
I like
waiting,
this.
We're waiting for our terrace furniture to come. Yeah, this has 2 tiles missing because they broke in transit, but
Okay.
that's being fixed. But you can see we're going to have the dining area here.
Yeah.
The windows can open and close in any direction. So if we were wanting flow between the kitchen and this dining area, it works perfectly. Barbecue, shelving unit. And then over here is more like the relaxing area.
And how much, in this part of Spain, how many months of the year could you be hanging out here?
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
for most people from overseas, from colder climates at least, 12 months a year.
And I love the flow,
Yeah.
which is a Kiwi saying apparently, right?
It is, yeah, the indoor-outdoor flow. My sisters and I have a joke about it.
So, Hanny's sister lives in New Zealand.
She does.
And so, take us inside. We'll check the flow. I'll
Check the flow.
cross the...
Check the flow.
Yep, I'm flowing.
There you go. Here he is.
Kitchen.
Oh my goodness, James. After 10 years
Yeah.
of living in crickety, really old, like 1800s
Yeah.
properties in the city centre, to have a modern kitchen
Yeah.
is, what an absolute game
treat.
changer.
Lovely, beautiful. And you've got, so you
And
got
then
your
there's
drawers.
this little utility area here with I think we call these a heat pump in English, but I don't know. But it's Swedish anyway. I'm calling it Sven because
Sven the heat pump. And obviously you've got all your drawers. Okay, so full.
Fridge freezer here. Actually, I'm not going to open the fridge freezer.
No,
It's
don't worry.
shameful. Here's dishwasher built in.
Okay, lovely.
Recycling. So we have 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So this is Pedro's bathroom, which will of course function.
Just for
yes.
clarity, Pedro is Henny's boyfriend.
If you're wondering. The dog.
So yeah, that will obviously function as the guest
Yeah.
bathroom as well. This will be the guest room. This at the moment is still the dumping ground for like
Yeah.
boxes that we haven't unpacked yet and
Yeah.
things that I don't know where they're going to go, curtain rails that need to go up, all that jazz.
Yeah.
And then Pedro also keeps his wardrobes are in here.
So you have some storage.
Right, yeah. Here is the master suite. So this is my bathroom
Yeah.
and my wardrobe area.
Okay.
And then
Pedro got the short straw on that.
well, I don't know. He's very happy to have his own space.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then this is the bedroom, but everything is just as you can see,
Yeah.
not decorated.
The pillows
No.
almost reach the end of the bed.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
that's what happens when you live with a hotelero. It's
Oh,
somebody who
really?
works in
Yeah.
hotels.
Pedro works in hotels. And so I know, Hanny, people will be wondering what you pay. Now, I know we've chatted to this off camera and you're not comfortable divulging, but go online, guys,
Yeah.
and have a look.
We then step outside to explore the gardens and common areas.
Yeah.
So this is the aromatic garden. There's fruit trees. We've got figs. We've got
lovely.
oranges, lemons, and limes. Wild garlic. This is all for the community. So
Yeah.
if you live anywhere in any one of these apartments, you can come down and use.
And I still feel like here, there's still got a lot of growing to do. Like these grapes are going to cover this whole area. The figs are going to grow.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, the urbanization is only a few years old, so there's still a lot of growing to happen in this garden. And there's also a veggie garden that residents can use for their cooking.
It's my personal vegetable garden.
Ah, here we go. These are the vegetable gardens. So down here, right? This is where
Yeah, exactly.
lettuce is.
Yeah, they have lettuce. There's tomato here.
Next, we check out the pools. One still isn't open because it's not yet summer, but the second pool, where Yoly and Lucia are lounging, is open and looks pretty inviting on this warm May day.
Do you use it much? Well, you've only been here 2 weeks.
We've been here 2 weeks. We've been up and sat beside it just
Yeah.
because we could.
Yeah.
Like, we need to start using these things because
Yeah.
otherwise you slip into life and you'll be like, been here
Yeah.
a year and I haven't used the pool. So yeah, we had but I have not been in the water.
No, no.
Dipped a toe.
Oh, really?
And
You're so
decided it wasn't for
Spanish.
me.
Too cold still.
And it really
Here I am
is.
sweating, you know.
I'm in jeans.
You're in jeans, very impressed. Every time I look down, my eyes just sort of
Yes.
burns my retinas. I have to look at the grass.
Higueron West isn't just an apartment complex. It's part of a larger development that's somewhat still under construction and is built around the Higueron 5-star hotel.
So the hotel is like the central point of the whole urbanization and all of the different developments, regardless of the developer. There are, I think, 9 paddle courts, 7 restaurants, including a beach club.
7 restaurants.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily go down to the beach to eat out. You can eat here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now that Henny's gone all Costa del Sol healthy, she offers me a non-alcoholic vermouth.
It's not the Henny I know.
I was going to say,
Oh, wow.
this is so off-brand for both of us. I
It's
think.
very off-brand, but it's now on-brand. I'm healthy living these days. You're on the Costa. Let's see. First non-alcoholic vermouth. That's actually pretty good.
Honestly, for the like I say, for the ritual.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I hate non-alcoholic beer. As someone said to me once, it tastes like sucking on a coin.
Okay.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Right.
I mean, I feel like the science is still a little bit of a way to go to, they just need that alcohol and they'll be done, And it'll be perfect.
Why didn't they think of
Yeah,
that?
exactly. Last question before we leave you to get back to your life.
Okay.
Your beautiful life. What, if someone's looking at coming to the Costa del Sol, there's so much choice. Give us a few pointers on how someone can start to, narrow it down, yeah.
Number 1 is always going to be the location, but more specifically to that, thinking about what you want around you.
Yeah.
How accessible the place is by car or by public transport, what kind of community you want around you, what kind of facilities you want nearby. Do you want to be able to walk to the gym? Do you want to be able to walk to the beach?
Yeah.
Do you want to have other people around you who speak your mother tongue?
Yeah.
All of those types of things will help you narrow down a little bit the area.
Yeah. Think of those first, almost before thinking of actual places.
Absolutely.
Think of your needs.
Yeah.
And then see what fits it.
We're getting loads of hugs and kisses out of this.
I know. Right.
Thank you, Henny. Was it MTV Cribs? Everything you thought it would be?
I mean, what can I say? You tell me.
What are you supposed to do? Close the door on us at the end?
Yeah, bye.
Yeah. Enjoy your life. Come visit us in Madrid.
That evening, we make the final push east, checking into our rather less glamorous digs in Nerja, from where we'll be exploring the area east of Malaga City. While this is a generalization, east of Malaga City is a little quieter, less built up, and generally less international, though there are exceptions like Nerja. And it can be cheaper to rent or buy property on this end of the costa. Also, it's important to know the transportation network isn't as strong on this side of the coast. In the west, you have the Cercanías commuter train that runs from Malaga to Fuengirola and inland to Alhora. This end, by contrast, is served by buses. Anyway, tomorrow I'll be checking out Nerja itself, but today we're off to explore 3 towns in the hills.
So I've been planning the route for today,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking that we do a tiki tour, 3 key villages.
Okay.
Frigiliana, Cómpeta, and Torrox.
Okay.
I would like to know by the end of the day where you would want to move.
Wow.
If you had to choose between these 3 villages.
Not including Estepona
Focus on today.
Game on.
We climb through the hills to the first of the 3 villages and jump out just before we hit Frigiliana to take in the views.
Up here in the mountains, check it out. It's known as one of the most beautiful villages in Spain. Beautiful, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's lovely. Very organic, very kind of like, very much countryside, houses, here and there. I always wonder about a life like that. And then I go back to my apartment in Madrid.
All right, onwards. No time to dream. Let's keep moving.
We arrive in Frigiliana and park at the bottom of the hill, right where the village begins. This lower part is quieter and less visited by tourists.
I mean, we're not that far up yet in the car, but it really is mountain living in Frigiliana. And we're actually going to even go higher when we go up to Cómpeta. So I have a little bit of vertigo, so I don't know if I'm sure how I'd feel living in that house, but I'm also getting the feeling that this early part of Frigiliana, I haven't been here before, is the least touristy part.
As we climb, the buzz picks up and we find ourselves in the thick of it. Day trippers, shops, restaurants. And look, I've got nothing against tourists, but it's important to know when you're choosing a place to live, what kind of vibe it has, to make sure it suits your vision for life.
It really changes. The lower area of the village was very quiet, and then you come here and this is where obviously the main tourist area is, bus pulling out. You can see people winding up that street.
Yoly and Lucia head to the park while I head deeper into the town. And one thing you have to be aware of up in these towns in the mountains is access and transportation. Yep, there are buses, but it's not the most accessible lifestyle, which can be a pro or a con.
Es complicado vivir arriba.
Ya. Sí, así vivir en la montaña es más
Antes
complicado.
vivían, por ejemplo, por aquí un lujo porque por aquí yo veo por el coche, descargo, eso sí, tengo que poner el coche abajo. Pero los que viven en la calle alta, ahí no entra coche.
Ya.
No se puede. Y por ejemplo la basura todos los días a mano.
As I head higher, like in Mijas, the number of tourists drop off and it starts to feel more like a working village.
Would you move to, I know we haven't seen all 3, but just
Yeah,
an
I
initial,
can't really-
just give me an emotional impression.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's gorgeous. But I need to see the other 2 to the side. If I had to choose, I would be in the other part that maybe has
more-
fewer tourism,
Yeah.
fewer tourists.
Or in the valley, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Let's keep climbing.
From Frigiliana, we set off towards Cómpeta, another village higher and deeper into the hills. The drive is beautiful, but not exactly easy. But with every bend, the views open up. Homes with pools and gardens, olive groves, and the sea far below.
Feel like the tourists don't quite make it up here.
No.
How was the drive?
Wow, intense. Intense. One of those. You can't just look away for 1 second.
Yeah.
You might crash into another car coming
Or
the
down
other
the
way.
hill.
It's a hidden gem, I would say.
That term. You know that term is forbidden in this family? This village has a wonderful maze-like quality. literally. And I love the stones and tiles, I'm not sure. It's like granite or something on the floor. Wow. There's streets that are simpler, like this one, and then suddenly you get this explosion of color. And I kind of love that combination of, you know, simplicity. Doesn't feel too dressed up, you know, but then boom, you turn around the corner and somebody's gone to town with the plants. It's for sale. This garden could be yours. And just coming down to the square, there's restaurants here. It's more low-key than Frigiliana, Mijas, for example. That's what that road does. It's a physical barrier of sorts. Another thing that I think is interesting is like what is in the main square of a town, right? So, okay, we've got these restaurants, we've got a bank, we've got a fishmonger's, an e-bike rental shop, but you know, kind of a bank, fishmongers, things that people who live here use. I think these little signs are sometimes indication of the type of town a place is, right?
Yoly is craving a cold drink, so I head to a local supermarket.
Pero sí, en Cómpeta me parece que hay 38 nacionalidades diferentes o por ahí.
Joder. ¿Vives aquí, tú?
Sí, claro.
Sí. ¿Y qué tal vivir con
Increíble.
tanta carretera?
Increíble. Lo malo, la carretera te acostumbras rápido. Es que
Sí, ¿no?
Sí, te lo tomas como un rally y ya está. Yo he vivido en Granada ciudad
Sí.
y en Málaga. Granada me gusta, pero porque como no es una ciudad tan poblada, digamos,
Sí.
Málaga era. Málaga no me gustó nada.
Sí.
Pero como aquí en ningún lado.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking actually that a good way to visit a place is actually to just sit in one of the main squares and just kind of like feel the rhythm of the place.
Good point.
Yeah.
I'm
if
always
you would
running.
just visit and you know you with a flow of like a certain like you know like fish bank or whatever, you know,
Fish bank.
the fish no, a group of fish. What do you call that?
School.
A fish school, you know, you're like with a fish school, you know, just kind of like going, you're not really kind of let it sink in.
And so what have you discovered in your visit?
I discovered that if I wanted to live here at any point in my life, I would make sure that I don't need to drive up and down that road often.
Yeah.
You know, like, is everything here?
That's what the guy in the supermarket was telling me, everything's here.
Well, there you go.
I mean,
Is it
certain things are not here, but
like a hospital? But
there'll be a clinic.
there will be a clinic, there will be, you know, like basic services and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, we'll make sure of that. But it feels really cool, this place. Actually, I like it. I like the decoration is a little bit more kind of random than like, you know, Frigiliana would be all kind of like, you know, a bit more studied. And here is like, you know, like that green and then that other yellow and you know, just kind of a little bit more organic or I like it.
While Lucia finishes her nap, I start walking uphill, deeper into the village.
Good for the thighs.
And like Yoly, I really have a good feel for this place.
This is like the terracing of homes, right? It's incredible how these villages are built. It's beautiful. Layer after layer after layer. You know what it is that I'm enjoying about Cómpeta? Is that I feel excited to explore it because I don't know what I'm going to find behind each corner. You know, it's got this wonderful kind of randomness of somewhat mundane little streets and then, wow, beautiful streets. And I feel the excitement just walking around, and that's a great feeling. And I should be clear, we're here at between 2:30 and 4. So, if it looks empty and the pharmacy looks closed, it's because we're in a village in Andalusia and we're here between 2 and 4. So, everything shuts. People stay inside.
With time ticking and the sun starting to dip, we hit the road again, this time heading for the third town, Torrox Pueblo. Given the heat and the need to explore the town quickly, Yoly and Lucia again hang back to hang out in the plaza as I head deeper into the town to explore with my camera.
So this village, its claim to fame is it's been named as having the best climate in Europe. There you are. Right now it's bloody hot. But that's the same everywhere. Why? Just turn around the corner of this church, this sort of ochre church. I think mass is in session. So coming into the main square here. See if I can apply my new main square rule to get a vibe of the place. Bank. Closed because of the time, I suspect, but hardware store. Bank. Town hall. Pharmacy. Real estate. Tapas bar. Restaurants. Pretty good mix of, some terraces. And some real shops. And while it's closed now, because it probably only opens in the mornings, the local market. So on the main square, a market. It's a good sign.
Torrox feels very real, quieter and less polished than the other two villages we visited today.
Something when you're walking around an Andalusian town or like this, particularly in the afternoon on hot days, people leave their doors open. And obviously not this one, but I'm not going to film in their homes, but you can walk past and they'll often be sitting there staring right out at you. Yeah, it's got a real lived-in feel.
I keep winding up through the narrow streets.
So I feel like this little corner here kind of sums up Torrox, right? You've got these, lovely terraces, these renovated homes like this one here with beautiful views of the hillside. And what you often see in Spanish villages are abandoned houses, collapsing. You've got places like this. It is a real blend. Obviously, ideally, homes aren't collapsing, right? Or abandoned, but it feels very real. I'm now completely lost up at the top of the village. It's hillside. It continues over there. Alright. Let's go and find Yoly and Lucia. And something else you notice. 6 p.m. and you start to notice voices. It's like at that point the village is starting to wake up for the afternoon evening session. People start to come out. It's a bit more movement, driving around. If you're going to live in a small place like this, you've got to be okay with the rhythms because they're not going to change for you.
So while I've seen a lot more of the three villages, I'm curious what Yoly's opinion of all three is based on her observations from hanging out in the main squares.
How is it?
Good.
Yeah?
Have you decoded Torrox from your...
I'm not as clear as I was up there in Cómpeta. I did see a funeral parade.
I saw that, yeah.
Very solemn, obviously.
I hope you can hear us. There's a little loud talking going on around us. The ability of your average Spanish person to shout without shouting is incredible.
Something quite nice I saw was that as the funerary car was driving past, everyone here on the terrace stood up.
Oh, really? Okay, it's a show of community.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, I like it. I was emotional. I'm like, what?
So you had a very pure experience.
Yeah. I love the people here.
I like Torrox. It's got just feels very real. And it's closer to the beach. I think we're moving to Torrox.
Yeah. Well, the closeness to the sea I like.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Close to the sea. I don't know if I could handle the up and down the hill constantly to Cómpeta, as much as I like Cómpeta.
Or, twice a year.
Oh, twice a year.
All right. When is that happening?
Cheers.
Yeah.
Never.
After wrapping up the day in Torrox Pueblo, we head back to Nerja. Nerja is bigger and more bustling than the three spots we've visited today. It's got beaches, local life, and enough buzz to feel connected without being overwhelming. The next morning, Yoly and Lucia head to the beach while I set off on another of my urban safaris.
I'm going to kick off this little tour of Nerja in Playa Friilana, which is a beach area. And the immediate thing you notice in Nerja is that the beach and the town are not on the same level. So we've got the beach, and then right up the hill is where the town is, up there. And it's kind of a little more resorty down here on the beach, you know, these shops along here, and restaurants are serving people, you know, here on the beach on holiday. And so where you live in Nerja is up there. And if, you know, being near the beach and being near a nice beach is important for you. I mean, this is lovely. We've got the palm trees tucked between, you know, it's effectively like a large cove tucked between two outcroppings of land. Volleyball. You know, it really is a beautiful little spot. And for those who don't know, the chiringuito is just such an important concept in Spanish beach life. So this place down here, I mean, it's empty now and looks a little bit depressing, but come lunchtime, it's going to be packed. And what a chiringuito, a true chiringuito is, you know, plastic chairs, rustic service, right alongside the beach, not back. That's where the restaurants are. The chiringuitos are on the beach. Grilled seafood, you know, done al espeto.
Enough food chat, it's time to climb. I want to show you what the houses are like at the top of the hill.
You don't have to walk up the side of a road to get up here. I'm just taking this kind of side road. There are areas with steps and footpaths and things like that, but the key is, yeah, the homes are up there, and already you can see views of the beach down there and the homes up there. All right, don't say I never do anything for you guys. So these are the super modern ones to give you an idea. And there's this stuff, this style over here. So this is more my vibe. These more traditional looking spots, these lovely townhouses that up the other side potentially have sea views. And then there's real mansions, like, you know, this place here behind the walls, palm trees, swimming pool, big place. And if you want to dream, spot right up there. So here above Playa Friilana, you know, with these beautiful homes, is one vibe. But now we're going to head over to the Nerja town center, because Nerja is a real sort of busy, bustling, functioning town. And check that out. And I want to show that to you because it's a very different vibe.
So while there's a strong tourist presence and numbers swell in the summer, people live here, work here, raise families. There are schools, local businesses, clinics, all the pieces you need to build a life.
This is a tourist town. I think what's key though is when you're looking for somewhere to move to, can you live a life here and not just feel like a tourist all the time or surrounded by tourists all the time? Are there real shops? And a place like Nerja, yeah, it gets more touristy as we get into the main square where the views are. There's, you know, restaurants and ice cream shops and things like that. But this is a town where you can live a real life. Welcome to the Balcón de Europa, the balcony of Europe. Not a bad balcony. But guys, location, where to live in Spain is only one aspect of your move. So if you want to learn more about how to get here and set up a life, check out this video up here where I go into all the different details about visas, you know, taxes, finances, healthcare, all those different things that you need to understand to move to Spain and set up your ideal life here. Okay, I'll see you over there on that video in a moment. Ciao.